These are my first impressions of the Pearl Mimic with Masters MCT. What's up? My name is Justin. Welcome to 65 Drums, the place to keep on top of all things Edrum related. Hope you're having an awesome day. Now, I recently got a chance to play this drum set, and if you're like me, you saw pictures of this online, and then you kind of looked at the price tag and scratched your head or your jaw dropped, because this thing costs $6,350. And then when you look at the components, you're still wondering why the heck it costs that much. And we're going to price out everything separately near the end of this video, but suffice to say, this is a very lopsided drum set. It has some really amazing features and some features that are just, they shouldn't be in a class of $6,000 and above. You know, it's actually been a few years since the last time I played these Pearl pads, these Tru-Trac heads, and I was starting to forget what they actually felt like to play on. And now I remember, it's just a giant slab of rubber. Okay, so when you sit down to play this, it's actually pretty impressive because you've got these beautiful shells from Pearl, the Pearl Master shells. You got these, you know, giant white rubber pads, which are pretty fun to play on at first. The kick drum pad's kind of weird because you actually have to cut a hole in the bass drum head and then insert this. So that's just an FYI. If you want to buy these pads separately, which you can do and put them on any drum set, doesn't have to be a Pearl drum set. They're universally compatible with everything. But if you buy it for your acoustic drum set, you're going to have to cut a hole in your $40 acoustic drum head. Just want to let you know that. But anyway, the pads, they look really nice. The drum shells look really nice. You got a two-piece hi-hat system, which is, it's not like on the caliber of a VH12 or something. But it's there, and I'm glad it's a two-piece. Pearl's decided to go for the very bottom of the barrel. They're using these standard Middelli cymbals. And I have nothing against these. If you're buying this on a $1,000 drum set, you know, it's a $1,000 drum set. The problem is, this isn't a $1,000 drum set. And these Middelli cymbals are incredibly cheap. They're not as fun to play on as, you know, Yamaha, ATV, even Elisa Strike cymbals are nicer to play on. So yeah, what every company does, they order these from Middelli, they have them print their logo on it, whatever color the cymbal they want, and away they go. Now, Pearl decided they wouldn't print their logo on the cymbals. So Pearl has these giant stickers, these giant, you know, plastic Pearl word logos on, and they just stick them on there, and they were literally peeling off. And I was like, just looking at it in disbelief. I'm like, there's a $6,000 drum set, and the logos are just literally falling off. So that was kind of embarrassing on their part. But anyway, when you're sitting down to play this, it's actually a pretty good experience. The problem with the pads, though, is that they're rubber, and the longer you play it, the less fun it gets. The one saving grace to this entire drum set is that Pearl Mimic Pro drum module. That drum module is an absolute beast. If you want to go check out my first impressions video and a couple of like playthroughs that I did of it, I'll leave that link to that video in the description below, which I go more in depth on. But suffice to say, it's the best sounding drum module in the world right now. The TD50 might be a better, well-rounded drum module because, you know, Roland has had more time to get all the kinks out of the system. Everything's just working perfectly. But anyway, the Pearl Mimic Pro drum module just sounds better than anything else. It sounds better than all the two-box, all the Yamaha, all the Roland drum modules combined. It just sounds amazing. And it's got Steven Slate Drums 5 in it. Now, one guy did tell me that it's actually a combination of some Steven Slate Drums 5 drum sets and some Steven Slate 4 drum sets. I can't confirm or deny that. All I know is that the websites say it's Steven Slate Drums 5. And it just sounds amazing. It's got tons of inputs on it, tons of outputs. It's got a giant touchscreen on it, and it's just an amazing drum module. The one thing I don't like about the drum module is I don't really, you know, care for the 2-second loading time, but that's okay. It's like 2 or 3 seconds. One of the drawbacks of that drum module is that if you leave it on for too long, it causes screen artifacts. So basically like a really faint ghost image of the screen that you were on. It eventually fades away, but it's called a screen artifact. It's not permanent. It's not screen burn-in, but still, yeah, they kind of skimped on the quality of the screen they chose to put in this freaking $2,200 drum module. But again, it's the best sounding drum module in the entire world right now, and it's got universal pad compatibility. So even if you want to upgrade and not use the Pearl pads anymore with this drum set, you can do so. But that's the best thing about this entire drum set. Also the fact that you're getting Pearl Masters shells. So those are really nice. They're very decent drum shells. 6-ply, I believe it's maple. I'm not quite sure. I'll leave the specs of the shells on the screen right there. But the reason why I am not sure who this drum set is for is that it's $6,000 and it is not a contender for best electronic drum set in the world. Okay? If you're going to be above $4,000, you have to be a contender for best electronic drum set in the world. That's just the way it is. If you're going to spend over 4 or 5 grand, it has to be the best of the best of the best. What this has is the best drum module, and it has decent drum shells, okay? And that's it. So speaking of the cost, let's go price out each of these individual components and see how much it would cost if you bought everything by itself. So the first thing is the master shell pack, which is $1,500 by itself. That doesn't come with the snare drum, so you'll have to buy that separately. And if you wanted a snare drum shell that was really nice, so it would go with a really nice shell pack, that would be another $500, let's say. So let's just say evenly costs $2,000 to buy all these drum shells. And then you got to buy the hardware package, the HWP 930, which is $480. And then there's the Pearl Icon drum rack, which is another $490. And then there's the Pearl Mimic Pro drum module, which is $2,200. And then there's the Pearl Tru-Trac pack. You'd buy the pads separately for $800, and you'd have to buy the 2-piece hi-hat, and then you'd have to buy the cymbals. So altogether, if you add all these numbers up, it's...
Hey Siri, what's 1,500 plus 500 plus 480 plus 490 plus 2,200 plus 800 plus 110 plus 200?
It's $6,280.
$6,280. So you're literally better off buying everything individually instead of buying it all in one. Now, I could have missed something. There might be something right there in my face that I just can't see that I didn't add. Cables. I didn't add cables to the equation. But whatever, you can go buy cables from Amazon. The point is, they're not actually giving you a break in price. So you might as well, you can just buy all the individual stuff by itself. You can forget about the cymbals because the cymbals, they shouldn't be on this drum set at all. Go buy some Yamaha cymbals because they're inexpensive. Pair them with this drum set. But yeah, this drum set's very lopsided. Basically what they've done is they've taken the engine from a Lamborghini and somehow they've dropped that into a Toyota Corolla. Does it go faster? Yes, it does. But it's a really weird lopsided vehicle now. So yeah, this drum set's fun to play on. But it's very, very weird. I don't think it's worth $6,000, and I'm trying to figure out who would actually buy this. You'd have to be someone who wanted really badly to buy a set of Pearl Masters drum shells. And then you'd also have to be a person that really wanted to buy a Pearl Mimic, and then really, really liked the feel of the Pearl Tru-Trac heads and the cymbals. And if you happen to be the guy that wants to buy all those things, then go buy this drum set. Just buy everything individually because it would be just as much or slightly cheaper to do it that way. I should probably mention the little brother version of this drum set, which is the Pearl ePro Live powered by Export. Now the main differences between both of these sets is the drum module, the drum shells, and I believe the drum hardware. But you're using the exact same drum pads. So the drum pads aren't the reason for the cost of this drum set. It's those darn shells and that darn drum module. My whole thought on this thing is why in the world would you buy a Pearl Masters shell pack? You want to go buy really cheap drum shells because you don't care about the sound. You just care about it looking nice. So just buy some cheap drum shells that look really nice and then pair it with, this Tru-Trac pack and then with an okay drum module. Because that drum module deserves to be with nicer components. It deserves to be with a set of mesh drums, or at least the Yamaha silicone pads. So in case you couldn't tell, I'm not a really big fan of this drum set. I absolutely love the drum module. The pads are fun to play on, but $6,350 is way too much to ask for this. You got to compare it against a Roland TD50 KV at that point, and then when you compare both of those drum sets, there's no contest. So yeah, I'm not really sure why they're selling this drum set, but I guess it's an option out there. I'm just not exactly who it's for, really. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of this drum set down in the comments below. I'm really interested to read all your thoughts, and I'll see you in a few.